PlayStation Portal owners, Sony just dropped the biggest cloud update yet. Yes, 34 classic PlayStation games have just hit the cloud streaming beta. You could say 34 new classic games, but I don't even know if that makes sense. This lineup is packed with absolute gems, from legendary PS1 RPGs to PSP fan favourites. There's something for every PlayStation fan here. But which games should you play first? Because 34 games is a lot. Well, stick around as I break down the best highlights and quickly run through every new addition so you know what to play on the Portal right now. So my first pick of standout games is The Legend of Dragoon. This PS1 classic is probably one of the most beloved JRPGs of all time. And if you love your Final Fantasy VII, if you love turn-based combat, an epic fantasy story, this PlayStation classic is a must play. It even introduced the unique Additions combat system, making battles more interactive than most old school RPGs. The Legend of Dragoon was a PS1 game, so it's only fair that the second pick here is a PSP game, and I honestly think the PSP and PS1 games, the Portal is the best place to play them because the smaller screen, it makes them just look way better and sharper than on a big screen. And most of these games, well, the PSP games anyway, all seem to have trophy support, which is a big bonus. So next on the list is Gravity Crash Portable. This retro-inspired twin-stick shooter is a blast on the Portal, where you pilot a little spaceship through a neon-lit vector-style planets, it looks like, and it's all about tight controls, challenging enemy waves, and physics-based gravity mechanics. This one, easy to pick up and play, really difficult to master, and it's, as I say, it's a perfect pick up and play arcade shooter for the Portal. Next up is another PSP game, and we're fighting the Hellghast one more time, but not in first person this time, in third person with Killzone Liberation, which is a top-down tactical twist on the Killzone franchise, I guess you could say, and it still holds up well today. It's a gritty, action-packed shooter that proves the PSP was way ahead of its time when it came to handheld shooters. Next up, we're back to the PS1, and this was a tough pick here. So this is basically two games. We've got Twisted Metal and Twisted Metal World Tour, but I almost had Pursuit Force in here, which we'll talk about later because it's just an absolute blast. But I thought we'll go for the classics because I would really like them to make a new Twisted Metal. Rumours were that Sony have just scrapped a PS5 version of Twisted Metal, which was going to be like a Battle Royale game. I actually think that could maybe work quite well for Twisted Metal, but it looks like we're not getting a new one anytime soon, so we'll have to make do with Twisted Metal and Twisted Metal World Tour on the PS1. Two absolute PlayStation classics. If you love high-speed vehicular combat and chaotic battles, these games still deliver. Destruction, the weapons, over-top characters, this is what made Twisted Metal a fan favourite. And if you've watched the TV show, check this out, you'll love it. And if, like me, you loved Carmageddon when you were younger, check this out, you'll enjoy this also. My next pick might be controversial because I personally just love this game. It's so good. Jet Rider. It was called Jet Moto in other regions. And why do I love this game so much? Well, growing up as a kid, I had my PlayStation, loved it, saw the N64 come out and was blown away by Wave Race 64. So I kind of wanted a game that looked anything like Wave Race, and it was Jet Rider, which I got. It's like nothing like Wave Race in hindsight, but I loved it. You're racing these jet bike hovercraft type things, and it's just an old school arcade racer, a ton of fun. Before there was Wipeout, we had Jet Rider, people. This fast-paced, extreme stunt racing game was one of the coolest PS1 racers in my opinion, and it's all about high-speed jet bikes, like I was saying, crazy jumps, and some pretty intense tracks. If you love arcade-style racing, this one's a blast on the Portal. And for my next entry on the list, we're taking it all the way forward to the PS4 with Sayonara. Sayonara? Yeah, that's how you say it. Sayonara Wild Hearts. Now this one I was playing last night on my PS5 Pro, And damn, this is quite addictive and challenging once you get into it. When I first picked up, I thought, this reminds me of like one of these mobile games like Sonic Rush, you know, where you're just jumping between like 3 different lanes to pick up, well, rings in Sonic Rush. But this expands big time once you get past like the first level, and it gets really challenging. It's probably one of the most visually stunning rhythm action games I've played. So it's all about doing things to the beat of the music and timing to pick up all the love hearts. It's like playing through a music video filled with neon visuals, ton of fast-paced action, and there's also an emotional story in the background. So if you want a chill yet challenging game, this one is perfect on the Portal. As I said, there's been 34 games added, so we can't go into detail in them all. Otherwise, I will be up here all night. It's already 11 p.m. I need to go to my bed. So we're now going to do a little bit of a group mention covering off the rest of the games, so you still know what has been added and whether it's worth checking out. So first off, we have got the classic Ape Escape series. We've got the PS1 and PSP games here. We've got Ape Escape, Ape Academy 1 and 2 are on here. So whether you want some classic platforming action or the chaotic monkey catching minigames, this is a blast from the past, well worth checking out if you have never played it before. Oh yeah, and Ape Escape P is also in there, I forgot to mention that one. Next up on the series list, we have got the Siphon Filter series. Again, PS1 and PSP games. A huge win for stealth fans, this is. Siphon Filter 1, 2, and 3, Dark Mirror, and Logan's Shadow are all here. If you love classic Metal Gear style espionage, this series is a must play. We'll now call this the random miscellaneous arcade bucket, I guess, here. So if you love arcade style gameplay, this update does have some really fun gems in here. Whether it's some tricky puzzle platforming in Karushi, classic golf action in Everybody's Golf, which I recommend you all play. It is top banter. And then we have got Pursuit Force, which I almost had in my top picks list. And it is just a great pick up and play action game. It's absolutely crazy. You're chasing bad guys in cars, jumping onto their cars and shooting them. It is an absolute blast. It's like a time capsule from a previous time when games didn't take themselves seriously and they were just about having fun. We need a remake of games like Pursuit Force. We need just some new fun games. You don't need to set 100 hours aside to play the game. It's not all serious. It's just a ton of fun. Check it out, people. And that's not all. We've also got the mind-bending puzzle games here. We've got Echo Chrome, Echo Shift, and No Heroes Allowed. So if you love puzzle games that make you think outside the box, this update has got a few great ones here, with Echo Chrome and Echo Shift being really strange, unusual optical illusion challenges. I've never played a game like this. If you're into puzzles, this will be right up your street and you will have a blast playing this. Then we've got No Heroes Allowed, which is a quirky reverse dungeon builder game. Sony seems to be having a big push right now, adding a lot of the older retro style games onto the cloud streaming beta. Are you happy about this? Do you like this? I personally am happy about this. I love this. The nostalgia overload. If you've played any of these games when you're younger, you will just love jumping back into them on the Portal, which is a fantastic device to do so. But I would love to hear if there's some classics that you would like to see added. The video we did the other day where we discussed a whole bunch of the Namco arcade games which were just added. A lot of you said you'd like to see Tekken 3 on there. I would love to see Tekken 3. Some obscure ones I would love to see added is, if I think of the PlayStation 1, I'd love to see Grand Theft Auto 1 added, actually. It's just sitting over there. Ding. But they've got the original Gran Turismos and stuff like that. I doubt they will due to the licensing of cars. But the one for me, which a lot of people always forget about, and I just love it, I know we couldn't play it all the way it was meant to be played, but Die Hard Trilogy. 3 absolutely kick-ass fun arcade games. You had the first one where you're in Nakatomi Plaza. It's a third-person shooter. The second one was a light gun game. Before I had a light gun as a kid, still used to just play it with my PlayStation controller, and it was amazing. And then the third one, where you're in New York driving a taxi, just mowing people down, GTA style. I would love to see some more random ones like that, or even like Rapid Racer. I loved that as a kid. That was really cool, good fun. Oh, what was that Taito game? The crazy arcade racer I loved as a kid. Ray tracers, that's what it's called. Nothing to do with ray tracing. You get in your graphics now. But I would love to see some of these games make an appearance because it would just be so much fun. It would make me feel so good. So let me know what those games would be for you from your childhood you'd love to see added. There's a ton more, but I could go on forever. I don't want this video to be dead long. I just want to give you guys and gals the info you want here about everything that's happening on the PlayStation portal. So that is the 34 games. That is one of the biggest updates we've had yet. Sony are taking this cloud streaming beta seriously. It's awesome to see. Hopefully we'll have even more updates about it moving out of beta soon, which I will bring you here on the channel because I cover all things Portal to keep you all up to date. So make sure you check out this next video on screen because YouTube thinks you're going to love it.